Hi, I'm Helen from the Writing Development Centre. When you're reading any academic text, the best way to keep your mind actively engaged in the process, as well as record any useful information for later, is to take notes. Taking effective notes can help you learn more deeply, as well as ensure that you're being critical, purposeful, and selective with your reading. However, we're probably all familiar with ineffective note taking. We end up writing everything down just in case it's important, just because it's interesting, or just because we've gone on autopilot and turned into the human photocopier. That can make the reading process really slow because we get bogged down in taking notes, and our own writing process then becomes really overloaded because we can't see what's important anymore in all of the material that we've gathered. That can mean in turn that the final assignment starts to become crammed with everything that we've taken notes on, sacrificing our argument or the points that we wanted to make for lots of loosely connected, descriptive detail without any depth. Once you've done all that work making notes, the temptation is to use them no matter what. So, making sure that you're staying alert and focused when you're taking notes can really help to improve your learning in lots of ways. So, how do you do that? Whenever you're tempted to put pen to paper, highlight, underline, copy and paste, or type notes from your reading, then try keeping these questions gently in your mind. Why do I think this is worth noting? Examine that impulse a little. Is it just because it's interesting or novel, or it might be important? Or can you rationalise that a bit more and justify it in terms of your reading aims or your learning needs? What might I do with this note? We can end up with pages of notes that we never use or even look at again. What purpose might you have for this note? Can you imagine it as a key fact in your introduction, backing up one of your points, analysing or critiquing it in depth? Where might it be useful? Even at an early stage of the research process, you'll be building a sense of the points that you want to make and the structure that you'll organise them into. Can you picture what part of your assignment this note might belong to? What's my reaction to this? It's easy to get sucked into what you're reading and lose sight of your own standpoint. To ensure that you're able to be critical and see the different perspectives and debates in your reading, keep checking back with your own response to maintain a bit of distance and a sense of your own agenda. Notice any sense of familiarity, confusion, or surprise when you read too. That might tell you a bit more about how it fits with what you know and with the rest of the literature. What level of detail do I need to record? Not everything needs to be copied out word for word. That's very slow work. Even if you copy and paste, this can result in overwhelming amounts of notes that'll take ages to work through. Do you think you might use this as a quotation? Or is it enough to capture the gist of it as a paraphrase or summary? You can always come back to it if you need to. How will I be able to find it again? You can always return to what you were reading later on. If you realise you need more detail or that something was more significant than you initially thought, but make sure that you've captured the details, including the page number, so that you can find it again if you need it, and you won't feel the need to note everything down just in case. Obviously, you can't interrogate yourself with all of these questions every time you go to make a note, but it's a good mindset to cultivate as you're reading, in a very light touch way, just being aware of what's behind that impulse to note something down. You might also want to incorporate some of your responses into your notes too, leaving a record not just of what you've read, but also how you reacted to it and what purpose you intended for it.